If you don't understand the fate model, you are likely not running your own life. There is no antidote or firewall to its power. Our life is not shaped by choices. It's shaped basically by the people who figured out how to manipulate your biology. If you have a human brain inside of your head, you are running on these four things. There's not 50 of them or 30 or 5 or 3. There is 4. And they spell out the word fate. So awareness of this kind of thing barely protects you. Without awareness of this fate model, you're basically being unconsciously driven by it every single day of your life. If they pull on all 4 simultaneously, they're going to be able to influence you in a way that you might even think it's your own idea. I want you guys, before we get really deep into this stuff, to get a good contextual understanding of what is this fate model exactly. So think about focus. When you scroll TikTok for a couple minutes in the morning, or YouTube or Instagram, what kept you there? It wasn't just content, and I would be willing to bet it wasn't even just creativity. It's novelty. You're getting interruption, pattern breaks, and dopamine. You're not just watching videos. What you're actually doing is you're kind of chasing this ancestral reflex that makes your nervous system snap toward movement, color, threat, sex, and surprise. And I want you to think about this. TikTok didn't hack your attention. What they really did is they used a 1,000,000-year-old instinct. So your brain is wired to lock onto anything that might have mattered for survival 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 years ago. If it hacks your focus, it is leveraging that exact same part of the brain. Next up is authority. And when we think about authority, even think about modern medicine, for example. Your mammal brain doesn't know that. It sees the posture, it sees the certainty, but so much more of the time, it even just focuses on the symbol. And that symbol represents something, which is obey now. Authority triggers obedience, and it is something that's hardwired into us. It's hardwired into our mammal brain, and it has been for thousands of years. You probably heard Chase talk about this on the Sean Ryan show as well. People are willing to kill another human being in the span of 40 minutes, and there is no crazy complex influence being used. One of the biggest things, in addition to novelty, that's going on with Milgram is the presence of authority. Next up is tribe. You might think that you kind of have political beliefs, but most people don't. What they have is a tribe that tells them what their beliefs are. This is not just some people, this is everybody. Your obedience to your social tribe or some type of a social tribe or group is universal among human beings. You're not actually talking to them. What you're really talking to is basically a brick wall of beliefs and an identity that their tribe installed. You're talking to a brick wall of beliefs and identity that their tribe installed. Digital tribes really echo chambers. Now, emotion is really the master key. Emotion is the thing, as we talked about with the limbic system, that overrides logic every single time. When we look at advertisers, what are they selling? They're selling us chemicals, not products. They're not just kind of selling you a new fancy white pickup truck. They're selling you an idea of manhood. They're selling you belonging. They sell you a status to be a part of. And if someone's selling you perfume, they're not just selling a scent anymore. Really what they're selling is some kind of like sexual relevance, I think, a lot of the time. Human beings make our decisions from the limbic system, and then we justify those decisions later on using the prefrontal cortex. And every ad and marketing agency knows this, religions know this, even intelligence operations and kind of PSYOP campaigns are really going to seek to leverage these things in you: your fear, your shame, your desire, and even your anger. So if I can spike the right emotional kind of chemical cocktail, what happens is your brainstem takes the wheel. And you might even swear that you're making a rational decision. I can promise you, you are not. And you're basically chemically possessed, and that is proven by neuroscience. That is not just my opinion. So what does this really mean for us? I think the unfortunate truth is this. If you don't understand the fate model, you are likely not running your own life. And this is something that I hope you can all walk away with, that even if you do understand it, there is no antidote or firewall to its power. We are all kind of victims of our brains, but what we can do is we can build our awareness of how our mind works and how we are susceptible to influence, so that we can build a resilience to it, and we can hopefully grab the reins of our brain and try to control our lives in the way that we choose, instead of someone else choosing for us. If we think back to kind of ancient Greek times, emotion is like the Trojan horse, and logic is the excuse that we give ourselves later on. Our life is not shaped by choices. It's shaped basically by the people who figured out how to manipulate your biology. It's not your personal weakness either. It's not even your stupidity, and it's not even your ignorance. It is the fate model. It is the neurochemicals that are going on inside of your brain. Fate is a representation of the firmware, of the hardware of your brain and of your nervous system. Learn to use these same 4 levers on yourself first. Figure out how can you build your own focus instead of letting the world scatter it to the wind and to social media and everything else. Choose your own authority instead of outsourcing it to anyone who sounds confident or who holds some kind of a symbol. Build your own tribe intentionally instead of just getting like swallowed by the digital mobs that we see online today. And finally, regulate your own emotions instead of letting the world poke you and prod you and just hijack your entire neurochemical brain like some kind of sick, twisted carnival day or something like that. Mastering fate internally is really how you stop being a character in everyone else's story, and it's how you're going to start to become the author of your own. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what using fate looks like when it's done right.